All right, so here we go. Good afternoon. No. I'm not going that way. Okay, so now that I made my introductory thing into the reason for restarting my YouTube channel, I want to get into the thesis of the channel itself. And the purpose here is not to reinvent the wheel, so to speak, but to, of course, bring a different aspect of approach um, in this field. And in this field, I am talking about the urban environment, the urban exploration, the life, the plants, the animals, the different biologies that exist near us, for the purpose of survival. One, firstly, if you need it, and two, maybe one day we can develop a homestead within the city limits with the right people. I imagine that one day this project, because everybody has the beginning somewhere, but I imagine one day that there will be people that will join the team and help um, what I have envisioned come to light. Um, what would that look like? Well, of course, sorry, that's a something in the background. Okay, of course, that vision would look come in the way of having certain resources like I plan on getting a trailer to operate out of, acquiring the land necessary for small scale farming, and having the equipment and the people to walk through the various parks, the various waterways, and the various parks, the various walkways, the various waterways, and other good, nifty places that are in the city. Um, in the urban environment, what you will notice is the same thing that you will notice in the wild, and that is not everything will grow in the same place at all times and stuff. They if you do find them, that is basically the patch for them, and that patch tend to be unmolested by humans necessarily, because humans are not out foraging like I am or like my team. They are shopping at grocery stores, or they are shopping at farmers markets, or they are ordering things online, because that's how complex our society is at this present moment. Which, there isn't a whole lot wrong with that. Um, I simply believe that when our our conundrum started with the grocery store model. Um, the grocery store model is a well, you can it's easily Google. But basically, the long and the short of it is, and this is one of the reasons why I like to present my sources, so that people can look it up for themselves and stuff. My sources come in the way of a ending credits and ending source page so people can look at it for themselves. But the grocery store model is a model that shows how society is pretty much built around buying things from a grocery store. What is this? What would that mean from an ecological standpoint? It means that, okay, well, we have been trained to understand things as being food, and certain things, like it introduced the idea of plants that are beneficial to us as being weeds and not useful for us, like our medicine. We have been programmed to believe that all of our medicine comes from the pharmacy. And another point of reference to that would be one, the YouTube documentary, The Marketing of Madness, the book Medical Apartheid by Harriet T. Washington, and various other sources like the documentary on YouTube, Cancer, the Forbidden Cures. And there's like a wealth of information out there that will demonstrate demonstrate the establishment's war in consolidating medical practice and putting it under the umbrella of institution. There's a particular reason they want to do that, but I don't want to get into that right away. I want to finish explaining why is it we need to relearn our environment. And there are a lot of people out here that that do understand their surroundings and stuff. The more people to talk about it, the more the more we can circulate this thing that breaks this unearned trust in this institution that is just basically just here to slave us until we die. But yeah, the grocery store, breaking the grocery store model, breaking the backs of the pharmacies, and breaking not necessarily the hospital institutions, because the hospital institutions rely heavily on the pharmacies. We can that can be up for debate. That can be up for debate, and it's not something that I'm not suggesting is that they uproot it totally, because I mean there are some benefits and stuff, but there's still this horrible bane. But coming up with these solutions and stuff is talking about how to either improve it or to cut away the bad stuff that's really not doing us any good. Okay, so those two things alone forced another thing on us and stuff, and that is the use of pesticides in our environment. The use of pesticides in our environment by disassociating us with our surroundings, by causing us to artificially eat things that were used for society's production instead of in keeping the environment safe and for future generations. Okay, so that's that there. Okay, now in talking about that, another point of progress, I guess, would be to explain the rules of engagement when you are in a city environment, and you are, when you're in a city, when you're in a high traffic area, when you're say in and you're deciding that you want to explore these plants and stuff. one of the things you should realize is basic anatomy of plants, in which we will have a show talking about when my PowerPoint comes up and stuff, talking about the different parts of the plants. How do plants circulate different kinds of materials to the, how and material and how spraying pesticides in any circumstances is inherently bad for everything in the environment, including the consumers. Um, when it comes to plants, we are either first, secondary, or tertiary consumers of these things, and through all that process, these poisons tend to stick around and they affect us in ways that we are still discovering. We have a lot of autism because of it. We have a lot of cancers because of it. We have a lot of disorders because of it. A lot of it too would be to nowadays catch the establishment when they proliferate lies about certain things. Now I'm on this platform. I'm on YouTube, and I understand how YouTube makes their money and how people on YouTube makes their money too, and it's through advertisements. Advertisements, while you're trying to get a product out there, the theory behind advertisement or advertising a certain thing is definitely a corrupt one, because you have to demonstrate that there is some sort of an inherent evil with a thing or whatever. It can be anything, and so therefore, or an inherent, not an evil necessarily, but sow discord or fear about a certain thing. The only thing I'm here to sow fear and discord on is the established government in place right now as it pertains to everything. Okay. And I sincerely hope that people stick with me long enough to for me to fully get that out. Now, my goal is to publish something a week, but only publish a 15-minute segment, and maybe every now and again do a half an hour segment on a subject that is really important. Now, since this is more of a documentary and this is more of an educational thing and stuff, and I realized that YouTube saves videos and stuff, I could be at one point referring to a previous video that I have done and talked about and explained when we go and search the city, or when we're making projects, or when we're talking about certain subjects. Well, okay, so it looks like I'm getting pretty close to the end here. Now, I'm not going to limit the channel to just what I talked about, but every now and again, we might have certain things and stuff. I would like to merge this channel with my Facebook to where we have debates. Now, I am a anarcho-communist. I am anarcho-communist. I am not I'm not a capitalist for any reason at all. They can't have the soul capitalism to me and stuff. And then we can debate that. We can debate that without calling each other names and stuff. And I'll bring my sources. I'll do my homework, and hey. But I think I'll just wrap it up for now and just simply say peace.